date, National Voter Registration Day, so that's ready to go. Vote.org, this day in Siglerism. There's also a More tab.
Oh, these melted a little too. Oh.
Okay. All right. Oh, my shit's melting all over the place. Oh, we got people in his house. We went a little earlier, guys, because we're trying to have ice cream. And
it's hot.
This is California, and it's not working out. So it's delicious, though. I'll tell you that.
Well,
if you're curious about that very good boy or good girl on the screen, it's National Voter Registration Day. So we want to make sure you guys, you Americans, are registered to vote. Virginia, Tracy, Nelson, Carla, what's up? Sherry, Kim, Gavin, Bruce.
Gavin, Warren, hey there.
All right, everybody. You know what? Now, 20, cooking along in Facebook, in the Facebooks, the books of the face. Yes, I just made a Facebook joke, and it was very bad. Not many people have made it
Hey,
before.
Kelsey. Hey, Jane.
Kelsey. Hey, Sean. All right, we're going to go live. We're going to go live early, so at least you guys can see the ice cream that my gorgeous wife tried to hook up for us.
I mean, it's just so hot in this room. You work in
there it is.
No AC.
It's all completely. We were going to get all.
It's got to be a cone though. You got to take it out of the package.
Well, I can't. Oh yeah, got to take it out of the package. What? Nope.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna get there, but
I mean, it's not sitting all the way in the glass. You could just lift it out.
It's too complicated for me. This is very. What kind of ice cream is this, baby?
This is peanut butter cup. Ben and Jerry's peanut butter cup ice cream. Because Ben and Jerry's are big into voter registration.
I'll tell you what. Ben and Jerry's peanut butter cup ice cream is freaking fantastic. This is great stuff.
Jude, did you just call me a hillbilly? I take umbrage, sir.
Umbrage, she says.
Umbrage, I take umbrage.
Look at that. Let's look at that peanut butter cup, just sticking out of there, like the Eiffel Tower of chocolate. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Well.
So ice cream day should be in December because that way it won't melt all over everything. But here we go.
But people who live in places that are not warm all the GD time. Oh, let me give you this, baby girl. There you go.
One for you too.
All right, our show meant to be off with a bang, but we got the ice cream up a little
ice
early
cream instead,
and it's all melted and whatnot. So real quick, we're going to talk about this a second. This is our good boy, who is all paws on deck to get registered to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I just love.
Let's
that
call
picture.
him
Howie's just chill, typing things out. Got his harness on. He's ready to walk if you want to walk, but for now, he's just hoping that you got your voter registration done. All right, here we are back again. There is going to be a little bit of noise, you guys, because we're still finishing up these.
Ice cream cones is a hard thing to eat and do a live show. I'm just going to put mine down.
The live streaming of the ice cream cones. Whoops! It's turning. It's good. This is a debacle. It's a debacle. Hold on.
It is definitely an official debacle. I remember once, a million years ago, on the podcast, you were doing a Q&A. You're going to get brain freeze. You were doing a Q&A, and I think Jody was the question asker.
Okay.
And she insisted on eating potato chips. And you were so frustrated. And here we are all this time later. And we're eating on camera and on mic.
Well, because it's National Ice Cream Day.
I feel you.
So we're trying to celebrate stuff.
I feel you.
As we clean up the giant mess that we have made, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Scooch up a little bit, and I'll get my sound back in action.
Let's see, Jake Campbell. We have actually blue skies today. We are in much better shape. There was some rain up north of us, and that has helped manage some of the wildfires on the West Coast, as far as I can tell. So we're in good shape, anyway.
Guys, if you have not been watching the videos of A, who goes through the trouble of making you drinks like this. It's a little island with a palm tree. Because I watched the video, I know how that works.
Tree. It's a Mai Tai. This is a super classic tiki drink. Enjoy, you guys. Oh, my island is also the whole, Scott
That's delicious.
runs
Hey, Mike.
a little hotter than I do, so I am perpetually. But I don't know what happened today. I opened the windows. Here, just eat mine.
Okay.
And everything else, and then he closed them all up because he was cold, and it's stinking hot up here. So also my ice has melted. Here. It's a disaster.
I don't mean to be rude to you guys, but I effing love ice cream, and I don't get it very often. So now let's go back to the main. Here we are.
Hey, Daryl's sister, Lisa. Nice to see you, or nice to say hello to you, I'll say.
We have a phenomenal show for you today. We are actually moving into the second round of the GSMOAT, that giant moat full of sports movies. We've got a pup date for you as usual. We've got This Day in Siglerism, and of course, today is National Ice Cream Cone Day. We are going to be watching. Is it this Saturday, baby?
Yeah. Yep.
This Saturday is Gamers Hands of Fate Story Smack. Now, if you guys watched the Gamers Darkness Rising, which was a super indie movie about D&D players who are also in their old D&D world. Lovely, delightful, fun. This one, Gamers Hands of Fate, which we'll be watching this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock, was a Kickstarter, and they raised $450,000 to make their movie, much of which they shot at Gen Con in Indianapolis, is it?
It is now in Indianapolis.
Yeah. I've got mixed feelings about the movie. A liked it a lot more than I did, but I'm giving you a heads up. If you want to story smack it with us, we would love for you to watch it and hang out with us on Tuesday or on Saturday, 2 o'clock. But it's not the best movie I've ever seen. I will say that much. Siglebrations, real quick. We've got just one today.
We do. What is the one?
This is the birthday of Evan Diamond, the singer in the band I play in, Evan Diamond in the Library. Happy birthday, Evan. Here's to you, a veteran of 2.
Cheers.
Wait, did we play 2 Siglerfests with him?
2 Siglerfests,
Veteran of 2 Siglerfests, Evan Diamond. Happy birthday.
Now, I will tell you.
Yeah, I know, Beth. I know, Beth. Beth says, wow, another Gamers movie. With no exclamation point. You might want to skip this one.
Jake Campbell, thank you for staying up late to hang out with us. He says it's 2 a.m. in London, and he's having white wine spritzers, staying up late enough to watch us. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Also, I will say, Scott mentioned he was not as big of a fan of Cards of Fate, whatever it's called, than he was, or as he was of the first movie. I have to be honest, it's not quite the same. It's hard to say, like, the script is not as tight and things like that, because it's an indie movie, so that comes and goes. What I will say is this: I think it has a ton of heart. I think it has a ton of let's put on a show. I think it has a ton of stick-to-itiveness, and if I understood card games a little bit better, this, I think, it's a made-up game, but it's sort of, I'm guessing, Magic the Gathering. I might have liked it a little bit more, and you might have too, I think.
Yeah.
So we will say, I think it's worth watching. Scott thinks maybe you should just watch the Story Smack with us. But either way, we'll see you Saturday at 2 p.m.
And Nelson points out that he watched the extended cut of Hands of Fate, just like we did.
We did too.
You're welcome, Nelson. And trust me, we've already got our own comeuppance for that.
There's going to be,
there you
are. There's going to be a day, Nelson, where we are finally in the same place together. I don't know if that's Phoenix or Vegas or Colorado or whatever, but I will buy you a drink. Thank you for watching.
We owe you one, buddy. Sherry Hare's son won a soccer game today, so that's another Siglerbration.
Oh, that's huge.
Guys, some of you may have had a hard day. We understand. This whole world is a hard world right now. That is why we open up this show with not only these lovely faces, but a pup date. A pup date that stars as many as 2 of the dogs who are tied for #1 for world's greatest dog. So here we go. Our pup date today is the Reese.
So I will give you, you guys have been following along. We have been, the pups have been a little bit ill. Today is day 10, and they are both about, I'd say maybe 70% better. They are having a little bit of a lethargic time of it, but that's okay. They don't have a lot on their plate, so they're eating, doing all the things they're supposed to be doing. I just wish that they would be 100% better and sleep through the night.
That is my buddy. That is, if you don't know, that is Reese, the dog I got 5 years after the passing of Mookie, who was my 20-something dog. And when you get a 20-something dog, sometimes that is if you are fortunate enough to grow up with your parents and go on and have a secondary education experience, anything like that, in your 20s, sometimes you get a pet, and that is the first time in your life that you have been fully responsible for the life of another creature, where that creature relies on you and only you. That was my Mookie, who to this day is that's my dog. I'll never get over Mookie. And then 5 years after Mookie, A talked me into babysitting this dog. Or no, visit?
Yeah, it was an attempted, like a 2-hour potential visit to foster or adopt.
Right, 2 hour. And then after the 2-hour visit, I called the foster mom and said, can she just stay overnight? The foster mom said yes. And the next day I called her and said, that's it. I'm keeping this one. And she's been my pal ever since.
Remember, though, the foster mom said, like, oh, yes, she can. and was sort of like said the next day when he called and said, I would like to adopt this dog. She's like, I figured you would, but... Oh.
I actually had to talk to her husband.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Because she was she knew she had made a mistake. She had fallen in love with a dog and was like, I shouldn't have gone through the adoption. And I was like, too late, sister. I got her now. Come in. You want a piece of this? Come get some. That's my dog now. Come get some.
Do you have a little picture of the squeakers?
I don't. That is the one picture I had.
I thought you were going to show 2 pictures.
No,
you
I said I will show.
Dogs.
I show as many as 2 dogs. That's the picture you put in the folder.
Okay. Well, there's a ton of pictures in that folder, but that's cool.
Which we will run out with very quickly. Would you like to see your dogs? I can make it happen.
I mean, I can go get my dog and show them.
We'll do that later. Our pup date will include live action pup dates. All right, now.
No, a torn ACL, Smorg. That's terrible.
Who's that? A puppy with a football injury? Oh, it's a bummer. That is a bummer. Hate to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also, in addition to disaster of an ice cream day, because we live in California, made him too early, it is National Voter Registration Day. I would like to remind you that you have 41 days and 6 hours left until the day of the voting. Voting early or voting by mail is still on the table for many of you, depending on what state you are in, but you are running out of time. You are running out of time. Please go to vote.org and double check that you are registered. Don't get a surprise like I got in the I call them the preliminaries. What do you call that when you figure out which Democrat goes on?
The primaries.
Primaries. Preliminaries are more of a fighting tournament thing. The primaries, I went to vote and found out that I was not registered to vote for that primary because I had somehow signed up for the American Independent Party, which has the best scam going. They are alphabetically the first party listed when you go to change your voter registration here in California and several other states as well. And of course you check a box because you're like, yes, I'm an independent. I don't really care for either of these parties. I think everybody's out to get me, etc. And then you go to vote in a primary and find out you've actually been registered for a party. I'd like to point out they are the fastest growing party in America because a lot of people are making this mistake. So check your shit out at vote.org.
Yeah, and not every state, and of course we're talking only about the U.S. when we're talking about this, not every state requires you to be party registered to vote in a primary, but California does. So that was the problem that Scott had. He wanted to vote the full ballot, and he couldn't do that, having registered for a specific party, or that party anyway.
I'd like to point out, if you are in a state that does allow absentee voting or voting by mail, you still have time to get that done. But again, you are rapidly running out of time. Make sure your vote is counted and get your stuff taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we moving on to now? Oh my gosh. You know what it is, babe?
It is this day in Siglerism is my guess.
This day in Siglerism. Here we are. I really need to get a clean cutout of John Viscara's face. So I can make like a big head, like John's just, like a little animated GIF we can throw up on the screen.
Is John in the chat room? He's not tonight.
He's not. Well, John hates us. That's why he's not there.
Wow, come on.
Oh my gosh. On this day, we're not even going to this week in Siglerism. On this day in Siglerism, this is bonkers. Look at this, you guys. We have Episode 8 of The Detective was released last year. In 2017, Story Smack Episode 26 featuring upcoming movies and other hilarities released in the podcast feed. 2015, we did So You Want to Be a Writer number 3, Should You Outline. I'd like to point out that I think episode number 1 of So You Want to Be a Writer is over 300,000 views or approaching 300,000 views. So that's really nice. That is a video series I did for aspiring and early stage writers. That one, How to Write Your First Novel, is the one that's approaching 300,000 views because I don't like going on YouTube and watching people offer advice who literally don't even have a book out yet and have, 50,000 views on their videos. It just drives me crazy. So I did one like, hey, here's a person who's actually sold a bunch of books. You can listen to me or you can listen to the other guys go crazy. Also, way back when, 2013, we did episode 11 of Bones Are White, Passenger, part 3, if you remember that one. 2011, we had a Guest Goods featuring Seth Harwood. 2009, episode 17 of the Rookie Remastered Adult version is released in the podcast feed. And on this day, ladies and gentlemen, in 2009, the Rookie Tailgate Tour stopped in Jacksonville, Florida. And
so you guys don't know this, but I know why Scott's laughing. It's great. Want me to tell him?
Yeah, wait, go right. We got more, main, boom. Yeah, tell him, baby.
So, for the Rookie Tailgate Tour, this was the very first business thing that Scott and I did together. I, at the time, was a logistician and an event manager, and I had met him at a con, and you guys know this story already, and then he said, gosh, I wish we could tour, but, we can't get into bookstores and stuff like that, and I was like, well, we can get into sports bars during football season. That can't be that hard. And I sent him here's how I think we would do this. It's gonna stink because you'll have to pay for it yourself, and it'll be around $6,000, but you can do it. And so we did that, and we did 27 cities 24. No, that's Ancestor.
No, the Rookie was
the Rookie. Okay, so 24.
Ancestor was 17 cities.
Oh, that's right. So 27 cities in 24 cities in 27 days,
That's right.
We shipped some books to the East Coast, and we shipped some books to the West Coast, and then we drove all around. And Rob Otto, who is in the chat room now, picked up for me I was gone 2.5 weeks, and then I had to get home and, take care of my own life. And Rob picked up in Detroit and did Detroit to Florida, I think. And then I picked up in Jacksonville, if I'm remembering correctly. I might not be. We had sent a bunch of books to Neil Ashelman.
I think so.
Who at the time was a teacher. At the time lived in Jacksonville. I'm not sure he still lives in Florida. He's lovely. He's a junkie. He's a wonderful guy. He brings all the books, all like the 18 cases of books or whatever, which was the second half of the tour. And we sell, I think it is 4
We had 4
books.
people show up. That was the one stop. We averaged somewhere around like 25, 26 per stop. And we had, no?
30 to 40.
30 to 40
stop.
per stop.
And like in Dallas, we had 120.
Just huge. The whole thing was a massive, massive indie success. We had a great time. It was phenomenal. I met a lot of you who are watching right now for the first time. And in Jacksonville, was it?
Yeah.
We had 4.
4. So we had 4 people.
Neil.
One of the persons who showed up asked if they could pay for the book with a check. Paid for the book with a check. It bounced. I followed up with them. They ignored me. And then 6 months later, they found like a flaw in the book, like a page that was wrinkled or something when it was printing. And so the printing was screwy. And they emailed me for a replacement. Yeah. But the best part of Jacksonville is Neil is a teacher.
Keep talking.
And he says... Scott says, gosh, this is amazing. Like, I picked Jacksonville because it's a college football town. And this is college football, this is football. And I thought, college football, sports bar, this should be great. Sports book, why not? And Neil says,
yeah. Jacksonville and books, not so much. I was like, okay.
That was, of course, 11 years ago. We say that to each other all the time. Like, oh, yeah, you and pickles, not so much, or whatever.
It was great. It was a great day. Woo. So all this information more is available at siglerpd.scottsigler.com. You can also see it you can see the link from scottsigler.com. It's right up at the top. I'll show you right now because that's the kind of guy I am. Over at scottsigler.com. I would also like to point out we are in the process of giving away for free, you guys. We are on Nocturnal Throwback episode. Oh, it looks like our Wi-Fi is taking a crap. As long as the stream's going okay. Here we are. And you can see Siglerpedia is right here. Boom. Go to Siglerpedia. You can find all kinds of cool stuff. If you have questions about the books, plot lines, characters, etc., what do aliens look like, you can often find it right there.
And I'm just going to say, Rob Otto, you are absolutely not a lowly anything.
Oh, no. Rob
or
Otto
a
was
lowly underling.
Beast on that tour. Just an absolute beast.
My
Somewhere we've got a picture with Rob Otto and another fan. I can't remember right now, but
I think Bob Brost.
Bobby Brost. 2 giant dudes. And I'm like in the middle, like,
And then there's a second picture, which we didn't publish as much, where one of them, I think it's Rob, is holding your head like this.
Yeah.
It's great.
Rob is significantly larger than I am. And when we are hanging out, if enough beers have passed,
Hey,
Rob
Shannon.
likes to reach
Hey,
up
Jen.
and over my head do this.
Oh, is that what that was?
From Pulp Fiction. It squicks me out every time. I'm like, dude, you should stop doing that.
Joseph
right now.
Anderson,
It's not
before
gonna
we
work
move
out.
forward, I'll quickly answer that right now. SIGLERfest 2020 is scheduled for April 1st through 3rd at the South Point Hotel and Spa and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. I will caution you not to book anything until registration opens, because
don't do it.
Yeah, right now we can't. If things are like this, we can't have a SIGLERfest, and that's not us deciding not to have a SIGLERfest. That's we can't have a SIGLERfest. So don't do anything until you see registration open. We have promised that we are going to. Oh yeah, SIGLERfest 2021. There's no SIGLERfest 2020. We are going to decide if there's a SIGLERfest 2021, which would be SIGLERfest 10 by the end of the year, by the end of this year, so that you have 4 months to plan.
And if you can see our new lower third super, which I think is very sexy, except for the fact that I can't tell left from right. I am over here. This is me, Scott Sigler, on Twitter and Instagram. And over here, it's not going to work out.
That didn't
Over
work.
here is... This is her, a real girl, only on Instagram. Twitter is not A's jam, but A.
No, to be fair, I'm also, I think, no dots, but a real girl on Twitter. I'm just never there.
Never there. Okay, we're about to get into our movie system here, our GSMOAT. But first of all, let's take a look at our charity sponsor for the week. This is a charity that we make a donation to every week. There will also be our charity sponsor for Thursday, and we try and point out things that are kind of timely in the news. And like last week was fire rescue for pets that are stranded by fire and animals stranded by fire. This week we have Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
So there's a handful of things going on with this. Of course, we picked charity this week to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died last week of metastatic pancreatic cancer. And she had had cancer several times in her life, and quite literally worked up until the day before she died, and
Which I can admire. Worked right up to the end.
I just think she deserved a day off before she died, but she didn't think she could do that. So we also get quite a lot of recommendations for charities where people, you guys, your children, your grandchildren, your next door neighbors, all the people who come here and hang out with us and we ask for charity recommendations, recommend the local hospital where they are getting treated for cancer. And many of them have charity options and donation options, but they're not terribly easy, and they're not terribly easy to share globally. So we picked Memorial Sloan Kettering because Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center actually uses their budget, their research, their donations to fund research all over the world, all over the country. They work with every regional cancer center in the United States. And they share research, they share data, they share money, they share donations, they share patient resources, all that sort of stuff. So we decided like this has been a difficult thing because if you can't donate, which lots of people are having trouble figuring out a way to donate right now while everything is so crazy, one thing you can do is share. But sometimes that's hard for regional cancer centers. So we kind of rolled all those up into one, and we're going to do Memorial Sloan Kettering. We're going to make a donation. I actually called them and asked, can we do some sort of targeted donation? And they're so overwhelmed with people wanting to do that for RBG that they just asked me to call back next week. But we can do that. But if you want to do that, I will be working directly with them to include at least the information about the other cancer centers. MD Anderson, there's one in North Carolina, there's a handful of them that we would like to work with. So if you make a donation this week, please mention SIGLERinPLACE in all capitals, because that's the way that they will be able to target whatever donations we have and share them with the regional cancer centers and the global cancer centers where we would like to share.
All right, back to Maine. We have I got a new thing. Sometimes when we do this, we wind up on the front page of Facebook for reasons that we can't possibly explain. I wish I could figure out how to do that, which means we are now bringing back just a couple of quick things. Those of you who don't know who the hell I am, I am Scott Sigler. I'm a #1 New York Times bestselling horror and science fiction author. That's right, a #1. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. And you can find out more about us at scottsigler.com. For example, we are the most generous, giving, lovely, delightful, modest MFers that you ever met. And every week we give away free audio fiction. All you got to do is subscribe. Go to scottsigler.com/subscribe. And here's places. We got one button click subscription. Here's our SIGLERinPLACE streaming sites, but wherever you're watching, that is fine. And then, of course, social media, which I can't quite get to the bottom of it. We got Twitter and Facebook on there, too. This is the kind of stuff we do all the time. We mess around. We get a triple-double. It's no big deal. That's just how we live. That's how we do. All right. If you are, we'll come back to this in a minute for those of you who are brand new. But all I can say is, Bubba, you came to the right place. And you came at the right time. And we're happy that you're here. Steve made fun of me because I asked you what was coming next. And he's like you don't have the run of show right in front of me. Like, just because I got a piece of paper doesn't mean the business does not run without this magic human right here. The business
does not run without the business.
I'm not going to make a comment about business, but it's about the business is what it is. We're done Sigler Day. Sponsor. Oh, you guys know what time it is?
I do not know what time it is.
It's that time of day. It's time for the GSMOAT. It's a moat full of sports movies, the greatest sports movies in the history of mankind. Which movie is the GOAT in the GSMOAT? That's a flyover because the Air Force loves me. Boom, boom, boom.
We are very close to Miramar Air Force Base, you guys.
Close. So. Very close. Windows are open. Here we go. All of you out there in the world, if you're brand new to the show because you stumbled on it, it's on Facebook, we are running the GSMOAT, a giant moat full of sports movies, the greatest sports movie of all time. And in the bottom right corner, just another reminder, voter registration time. Get registered to vote. Vote. Do your patriotic duty. If you are an American, be prepared. Register to vote. Ask for the absentee ballot. If you're not willing to go endure the COVID, if you don't mind the COVID and you shrug that off like that, then just make sure you are ready to go. We are so effing excited to bring you guys round 2. We are in the round of 16 in the GSMOAT. Now the movies start to have a little bit of a story, a little bit of charisma, a little bit of personality, and you will find yourself being inevitably pulled to root for one or the other as we move through this. This is what A did not understand. My wife did not quite get this when we started out. I think she's getting the hang of it. Trust me, by the time we get to the round of 8, she's going to be like, now I get it. Now I get it.
Oh, yeah. No, I got it before. It took me half the first round, I think, kind of, probably. But I got it eventually.
Jake Campbell says Airbud should have been in here. Damn it, Jake. Trying to run a serious show.
Where
here.
have you
Very
been?
Serious,
We've been waiting
show.
forever for you. And also, Jake, I want to know if you know Buzz because you asked him what he was drinking. So I want to know if y'all are pals.
Everybody in this room is pals.
Well, but they're also Londoners.
I see.
Brits.
And if you're new here, you will be pals with us very soon.
Charisma.
Let's take a look at the matches we've got going on today, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a very brutal 1-5 match with an upset-minded Creed going up against one of the greatest sports movies of all time, a #1 seed, Hoosiers. And on the bottom of the bracket, Bring It On, which I felt should have waltzed into the Final Four, lost 2 Days of Thunder to Tom Cruise. That is why, because Tom Cruise...
It should have, because Days of Thunder is... Woo.
Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise laying, car skid marks all over the place. That is why we call this episode Tom Cruise's Rubber. That is the name of this episode today. Days of Thunder is going up against Field of Dreams, which had cruised to an easy win over the 7th seed Warrior, and that is what we're about to get into. But before we get into this, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake here. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Our leaderboard of people who tried to predict how this tournament would go before it started. You can't get in on it anymore. In first place, Game of Mao, who has Field of Dreams as a Final Four. Second place, tied for second place.
And hasn't lost.
And has not lost yet. Has a chance to run the table and get a perfect score. That was hard. Has Field of Dreams winning it all.
Oh, my goodness.
Winning it all. And then GSMOAT Lagower has Rocky winning it all, does not have Field of Dreams in the Final Four. If Field of Dream gets knocked off at any point, Lagower is in great shape. And then Busey's best picks, who's got Rocky, Major League, Hoosiers, Bull Durham. Actually, we got the first 3 do not have Hoosiers in the Final Four, baby.
So Lagower is in the chat room now. And
okay.
just GSMOAT, you say it.
The GSMOAT
is in the chat room, and he says his prediction is here is where he starts dropping down the rankings. And I gotta say, I'm not so sure that's true. I think you should not dog yourself. When I was in the 7th grade, I ran for class president, and I lost by 1 vote. Do you know whose vote that was?
You didn't vote for yourself?
Because I thought I should be sportsmanlike and vote for my opponent, and my opponent voted for herself too, and she won. So, don't do that.
That's okay. All right, baby. That's unfortunate. Very
I know
unfortunate.
it's so not the right thing to do, but I was young.
Very unfortunate. So there we are. So
very on brand for me, though.
These are our leaders. We'll take a look and on down the list. I am tied for 13th, trying to guess what you guys would think of. Not necessarily what I thought were the best movies. Otherwise, Bloodsport would have won the whole thing. And AK or ABS. Now, I've used the new name. We're sticking with AK because it's dope. AK's way down at the bottom. She is second from the bottom.
I will remind you guys, I did not get to actually choose votes. I just was trying to test the system. He's going to tell you otherwise when I lose terribly, but that's still true. What's going on there? Should we put a thing up there?
We're going to.
Cool.
What we're going to do is now we're going to get into it. Here we go. Match number one. You know what? No, I'm sorry. The 1 seed gets precedence. Match number 2, Field of Dreams versus Days of Thunder. Those of you who are new here, again, let's quickly go back to where we are. Let's show you our street cred. This is my street cred. I am Scott Sigler, #1 New York Times bestselling horror science fiction author. Go to Amazon.com and look at me. You better Google me, bitch. Look me up. ScottSigler.com. Lots of books. Free stuff all over the place. You can listen to my books for free. You want to do that. Get to know me. Get to know me, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the greatest sports movie of all time tournament. And now what we're going to do, it's time to do our on-the-fly, ad hoc, ring walk-up. Baby, you ready for this?
I am.
Here we go. In the right corner, a 6 seed, laying skid marks all over the pavement, slamming it into the wall over and over, doing whatever it takes to win. He is the former king of the box office. He is the former king of the summer blockbuster. It is Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. And his opponent, perhaps the greatest sports movie leading actor in the history of sports movies. He's going crazy in a field in Iowa. He's hearing voices. He's off to get an axe and brutally murder his entire family. I'm sorry, that's the Amityville Horror. It's Kevin Costner in Field of Dreams. I would like to see. I actually thought Field of Dreams might have taken a dark turn, and he might have got an axe and murdered his whole family.
You did see Field of Dreams.
Yeah, in the theater, but remember theaters? Remember theaters?
I do, but you never once thought that.
I was crossing my fingers, though.
Really, you never once thought that. There's the homie
get the baseball bat, Kevin. Get the baseball bat.
Quite literally every single one of them. Ray Liotta is in that. Ray Liotta is in that movie, and you know what Ray Liotta does?
I love Ray Liotta.
You know what?
He kills people.
No. In this movie, you want to know what Ray Liotta does? I'm going to do my Ray Liotta impression. You ready?
Yeah.
It's only coming out once a decade, so you got to be ready.
Here we go. Okay.
Gosh. Like, he's not a killer at all. He's a little happy baseball dude. He's not at all Ray Liotta. They were like, look, dude, you got to take some blood money for something. I know you want to do gangster movies your whole life.
He's Shoeless Joe Jackson. He's in the middle of it.
But you need blood money. Your blood money is you're going to do this baseball movie. It's going to pay for your house forever.
Okay, but I disagree. He's in the movie because his character is a effing gangster. He's a gangster.
No, he's not. He's Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe Jackson took a bet through a game. That's why they have to come back and play the game again. He's a gangster. He's a mobster. He's Ray Liotta. All right. Sorry, we got a little fired up there. Shoot, I lost.
Howard gets all the experience points.
Field of Screams.
That's Field of Screams, a horror movie that doesn't exist yet. Look, before we move on to the next round, we have to count this round.
Yeah.
But if you guys have not read the Sandman Slim series, read the Sandman Slim series because it's full of movies that were made by your favorite movie stars, directors, producers, all that stuff after they die.
Oh, that's great.
So we might get a Field of Screams.
Okay. All right, now let's move on to, first of all, baby, real quick, you got some got some tips on this movie, or you got
I
some
do.
notes on this movie?
Yeah.
There we go.
Which one? Field of Dreams?
This is Field of Dreams, Days of Thunder. Give us something we did not know about Field of Dreams, Days of Thunder.
This is super hard. Actually, I looked it up. You guys all know that Sophie Kinsella wrote a book called Shoeless Joe. If you didn't, do that. Shoeless Joe and the Iowa Baseball Confederacy was the first book she wrote, and then she wrote Shoeless Joe. The Iowa Baseball Confederacy includes I think it's a 37-day long baseball game that follows all the rules, and people have to like sleep in the dugout and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit magical realism, just like Field of Dreams is. They're both actually lovely, 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 lovely stories, and you should read them both. The studio wouldn't let them call it Shoeless Joe.
Okay. Because he's a mobster.
Well, I guess so. No. I mean, I think it's fiction. Is it fiction anyway?
Shoeless Joe Jackson?
Or
do
we know for sure that he threw games?
Yeah, Shoeless Joe
okay.
Jackson absolutely threw games.
But no, the studio said that Shoeless Joe sounded too hobo-like. So insisted that they change the title of the movie.
You know what I'm saying?
Just take this, baby.
Oh, thanks. You know what I'm hearing? I know he's an actual figure of historical resonance and whatever, but hear me out. I think people in the Midwest in Nebraska, he's going to sound like a hobo. People don't see movies to go hobo. People don't go hobo to see movies either.
There you go.
People,
did I say Sophie?
People want a wholesome. You had said Sophie Kinsella, yeah.
It's W.P. Kinsella, and I don't think they're related. I do that all the time.
Those are very different people. Okay, go ahead.
Also, the original title of the book Shoeless Joe, which became the movie Field of Dreams, was called The Kidnapping of J.D. Salinger. And there's a sort of a subplot where somebody tries to kidnap an author who turns out actually W.P. Kinsella says that was supposed to be J.D. Salinger, who was a notorious hermit. So those are the things you never knew about Field of Dreams. What's the other one? Days of Thunder?
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
Sorry, guys.
So if you didn't know this, of course, this is the movie where Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise meet, and eventually they marry and adopt 2 children.
Lay down some rubber. Yeah.
So Days of Thunder is actually inspired by a specific NASCAR driver, and everybody seems to think it was Dick Trickle, but it was not Dick Trickle. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, no, he's Cole Trickle in the movie.
Yeah.
And there's an actual real racer named Dick Trickle.
But it isn't Dick Trickle. It's a driver named Tim Richmond, who was a fiery, hard-partying ladies' man kind of a star.
Okay.
But everybody assumes that it's Dick Trickle because
that's so weird. Before we even knew what auto racing was, we called Rob Otto Dick Trickle back in high school.
I mean, I feel like that's probably untrue, and you're just trying to drag him in the chat room. And I love Rob, so I'm not letting that happen.
Okay, let's get back to the matchups, and then we're gonna take a look at our other movie. Let's do the. I gotta figure out how to work these goddamn buttons, you guys.
I will say, I'm not a giant fan of Days of Thunder. Actually, I probably was in the day, but I can no longer watch Tom Cruise without seeing Tom Cruise. It's unfortunate. I just can't. But I will say, I didn't realize this. Principal photography didn't start on Days of Thunder until less than 2 months before the theatrical release.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Are you kidding me with all the car racing and stuff? That can't be right.
That's what it says.
I find that to be
the film
foolish.
didn't. Finish shooting, not start shooting. Finish shooting.
That's better. Yes, Richard Allen, Dick Trickle does sound like a disease. Tracy Shank says no dick jokes. That's not going to happen on the show, buddy. Not going to happen. Nelson McClintock says his sister babysat for a family. The father's name was Dickbag. 2 G's though, so it's not the same thing. Let's get into it. You guys.
Sounds like the same thing.
Let's get into our ad hoc ring walk up. Remember, none of this is rehearsed. This is all improv, all off the top of my head.
Ooh, how do I love these movies?
Here we go.
Let me count the ways.
In the black corner, and I'm not saying it because it's a black guy, that would be racist. The entire booster is black, including Sylvester Stallone's hat and shirt and pants. It is the black corner. Coming out in a Thanksgiving pass, it is Michael B. Jordan. It is Sylvester Stallone, with Stallone revising his greatest role of all time. And no, this is not a sequel. It is a spin-off. It is Creed, and Creed's opponent, favored to possibly win the World GSMOAT title. It's a bunch of white boys from Indiana. Is it Indiana?
Philadelphia.
No, Hoosiers.
Oh, Hoosiers, yes, Indiana.
Indiana, a bunch of white boys from Indiana who are wearing shorts that are so tight you can tell what their religion is. They don't wear shorts like that anymore, not in the NBA, not even high school, not nowhere, but back in the day, you could see those butt-huggy shorts showing off what their mama gave them. It is Gene Hackman, the star, the greatest actor of all time. In the number one seed in the East Division, it is Hoosiers. Yeah, they wore very tight shorts back then.
Yeah, well,
Real tight.
yes. You know, this is interesting because I love both these movies for very different reasons. Hoosiers is this great, gritty, like, I want to know. I'm an adult child of an alcoholic. I want to know other people who sort of struggle and succeed, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's this movie that whether or not I care about basketball, I learn a lot about my own life from that movie. That's the best thing about movies. Creed, don't know anything about boxing either, and yet I love Creed. I think they were great. However,
It's a super fun movie. Loved it.
I have a couple really cool things to talk about for both of these movies.
Hit me.
As we have mentioned several times, Rob Otto, big movie buff in the chat room, has been arguing that this is a sequel and sequels were not allowed in the bracket. And I was saying that this is a spin-off, not a sequel. Interestingly enough, this is the first Rocky script. And so, of course, you see Rocky Balboa. That character that Stallone is playing in that poster, that's Rocky Balboa. This is the first script that Sylvester Stallone did not get a writing credit. He did not write Creed at all. And I find that quite fascinating.
He wrote Rocky 2, 3, 4, and 7?
He had a writing
12?
credit in them. So whether or not he wrote the whole thing, he had a writing credit in them, but he didn't have one here. Which it kind of gave me a little bit of pause because it's definitely in the Rocky genre, according to Stallone. So, maybe Rob has a point. If it lives through this, he can call controversy with the Belgians.
Rob Otto is... Oh, it could be the Belgians. I was going to say he's wrong so often we don't even listen anymore, but it could be the Belgians, Rob.
He's not, though. You're just... But I will say my favorite thing I didn't know about Creed is this. While training Adonis, which is Michael B. Jordan there in the photo, he is Apollo Creed's family, son. He wears a T-shirt that says, "Why do I want to fight? Because I can't sing and I can't dance. Or I can't sing and dance." And that's a line that Rocky says to Adrian in the original movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I
fabulous.
love that. Yeah.
Fabulous. All right, you guys. So there we go.
Wait, do we want to have a Hoosier fact or no?
Yes, ma'am. Of course. I'll even put you on the main camera. What's up, girl?
What?
Here we go. There's camera number 2. Let's get a close up of A, please.
My favorite thing that I found about Hoosiers is that Jack Nicholson wanted the part, which is crazy to me. Like, Gene Hackman is a huge star, but Jack Nicholson wanted the part and didn't get it.
Are you kidding me? How could he not get the part?
Because when he found out about the script, it was already in process, and they already had a read and stuff, but he wanted the...
I tell you now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. First of all, Gene Hackman, the greatest American actor, if not the greatest actor in the history of the world. Look, there's just... Don't even bother arguing. It's over. It's Gene Hackman, and that's it. That's all there is to it. But man, Nicholson and that would have been dope, dude.
And it's dope either way. But it's one of these things where, like, both of those would have been lovely movies. I'm glad we got the movie we did. Also, 7 of the players were actually Hoosiers. There was only one.
Is that right?
One.
The actors were Hoosiers?
Who were only one player.
You're full of knowledge, lady.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you told me to get ready, so I'm not ready. I just look shit up on the internet, that's all.
Baby, it's show business. It's show business. You're supposed
to just look things up on the internet, that's all.
You're supposed to pretend like you know all of this stuff. Yeah, see, David Lamb loves AB's trivia about. We provide the trivia. All right, guys.
I have one more thing, which super love. Dennis Hopper's in them, of course. Dennis Hopper, Gene Hackman,
Hopper's
right?
So good. So
and
good.
Hackman during the movie is like, dude, Dennis Hopper, this will absolutely sink our career. This was a mistake. Which I love because Dennis Hopper, really? He can't sink his career. He's part of the American decade of influence. He made super crazy movies while super crazy high because he wanted to make art. How could it be worse than that?
He looks high in every movie he's ever done. Yeah, Sean, we're still doing the swear jar. We need to get the swear jar and show up with a stack of ones like I'm going to the strip club with Otto and Baker, but... We don't have because we tend to make it rain up in this bitch. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our scores. We have the scores in from the judges.
You guys, I was struggling with ice cream cones today, so Scott did the judging, so I don't even know who wins.
I did the judging. She doesn't know who wins. Here we go. The results are in a second round stoppage at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Flashing his beautiful blue jeans and his gorgeous smile with a row of particularly manicured pine trees behind him that most people think is corn, but those are clearly pine trees. The winner by a crushing score of 63-9. It is Field of Dreams.
Yes, bitches! I will pay the swear jar, you guys.
Okay. Here we go. All right. And our other winner. And the other East Division semifinal. It was a brutal match. Decided by the 3 judges who scored the match 40-30, 40-30, and 41-29 for the winner. Moving on in the East Division. One would think it would be the boxer, but no, it is not. It is Hoosiers. That actually was a really close match. Hoosiers jumped out to a big lead, and then eventually Creed pulled within 1. And then the last 10 votes were all
that
Hoosiers.
happens quite a lot. I almost always do the counts, and we do the counts several times now, thanks to Nelson, who points out that we're human and fallible, which is totally good. So now we count them a handful of times, and that always happens. Like, it feels like, oh, geez, this is a runaway.
I thought Creed was going to come back. Yeah.
And then that's not how it happens, which is lovely.
Nelson McClintock just posted. He just posted. Oops, hold on. He just posted a picture. Can I get it back?
Yep, there it is.
He just posted a picture of corn. Steve Rickenberg also posting a picture of corn. I cannot scroll back, but I like that quite a lot, you guys. I can't. What is the second one Steve posted?
I can't tell.
I can't tell. I don't.
Steve will tell us.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I love Creed. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. It's a beautiful movie.
It's super formula, and formula works for a friggin' reason.
And it's especially a way that that the magic that was Rocky. So, as entertainment gets broader and more at your fingertips, we lose some of the options. Some of you in this chat room are just like me and can remember, you had to get up early on a Saturday morning to turn to channel 13 or 11, whichever it was in your town, to watch the cartoons. And once they were gone, they were gone. There was no YouTube. There was no video games. There was nothing, right?
You guys had TV where you grew up?
Exactly, right?
Must be nice.
So as things get faster and more immediate, that doesn't mean that those stories weren't worth telling, right? And I find that for me, I watched Creed and I loved it as a movie itself. I think it was a great movie. But I also think that there are people who were like, I gotta watch those other movies. And they watched Rocky and they were equally, or probably more impressed, or maybe equally impressed because the filmography is a little bit different. So maybe they thought those were equivalent, which is probably not. And then they got to Rocky IV and they were like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm done. But they still learned some cinematic.
You don't like Tommy Gunn? Jesus.
I'm just saying it gets a lot, right?
Yeah.
So they still get some cinematic history, and any cinematic history that is worth reliving is human history. It's who we are as people. So I love movies that might bring you back into that. And that's why I love Hoosiers, right? I don't know anything about basketball. I don't know anything about Indiana. But I still love Hoosiers.
Scott Wilson points out that he had a Pong setup in 1976. And so he says, there were video games. I wasn't talking about video games, sir. I was saying that where I grew up in Sheboygan, Michigan, we didn't have television. I didn't even have a floor. I had a dirt floor.
I feel like none of that is true.
And by house, it's a bold claim to call what we had a house. But you know what? There was a roof over our head that only leaked most of the time. Not all the time, like my friends did. So we had that going for us.
Did you say your friends leaked all the time?
Well,
I think you did.
My friend's name was Dick Trickle. So
this is falling apart, you guys.
All right. Hey, you got to vamp because we got to go to the bracket.
Yeah, I got to
update the bracket.
So while he updates the bracket, I will tell you guys, we say this all the time. If you guys have things that you would like to see, we have run out of Siglebrations. At this point, I am going out to the internets and just looking for Siglebrations. So if you have, I am talking about flipping anything. Did you grow a potato plant like I did this week? I want to know about it. If you want to send a picture about anything you're pleased with in the world today, when we're done with this bracket, we're going to have an all chat room junkies photos episode where we're showing pictures. We have dog ball photos, we have food photos, we have drink photos, we have the gorgeous Vertich Harris's today sent gorgeous ice cream photos that reminded me I had to make an ice cream cone, which I love.
Which we made a little early, but they were still delicious. We made a little early,
right? Because I rushed because, Daryl sent a photo, super cute photo. So send in any ideas you have for Sigler in Place, any charities you would like us to do. The goal for charities is that they are easily shareable and they are easily donatable. But if you can do that, you have any questions, you have any concerns, you email info@emptyset and I'll take care of it.
I call her. A is the fixer. And for those of you who've never heard the story, I'm not going to tell it tonight because it takes about 15 minutes to tell. But the story of how A and I came to work together, where she showed me that she was actually Winston Wolfe, is quite impressive. Let's go back to, the bracket.
Oh,
so we have
Basil,
our winners.
you're getting an apple tree. Before you do that, you're getting an apple tree. This is exactly the thing I want to know about. We went apple picking this week. It was great. So good for you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now things are starting to get heated. So it'll, in 4 weeks, what we are going, 1, 2, 3, no, in 3 weeks, what we're going to have is Hoosiers against Field of fucking Dreams. And I'll pay the $1 for that one, you guys. Hoosiers and Field of Dreams. If you think that's going to be a blowout, you are bonkers. Let's take a look at our leaderboard, though. How did these two wins affect?
Game of Mao. Robbie is rocking.
Oh, we got to update it. Here we go. Game of Mao. Then that was hard. GSMOAT Lagower and Busey's best picks are all the last 3 are tied for second place.
Dum dum dum.
Give me your drum roll. Looking at it now. Game of Mao continues as perfection. Us level of perfection we haven't seen since John Wingate back in 1972 when he went 3 straight games without allowing a goal, despite the fact that he urinated in the crease all 3 games, 1 game twice. He stopped all the pucks that came his way. A lot of people say that's because he had an empty bladder, but we don't know. We can't say for sure if that was actually the case or not. But Don Wingate's 3-game shutout to Stone. They called him the wet stone is what they called him because he stoned all the shots and he was very wet about the pants region. That is the kind of performance we're looking at from Game of Mao right now. And I'm trailing him. Oh, look at this. That was hard. And Busey's best picks, they went 2 for 2. Oh my gosh, we lost GSMOAT Lagower. Where did he fall to?
Well, and here's the thing.
How hard he almost had it all. He falls to tied for 11th.
And here's the thing. He's all, this is where it all falls apart. And I'm like, no, honey, you do you. You're made of magic. And he was like, no, I was actually right.
But let's take a look, ladies. This is super exciting to me. This is super fun. Game of Mao continues to possibly have a perfect bracket. The only one who can have a perfect bracket at this point. That was hard. And Busey's best picks are still very much in the running. They're only a couple of points. They're literally, I don't even know where fucking points are. They're 1 point behind, and they have a chance to run the table and do very well. Busey, do you want to say something, babe?
Nope.
Busey's best picks. And now here we go. And this is where the leaderboard has changed. A 5-way tie for number 4. And we start looking at these contenders. Drew's best guest. DeMongol says, Bad News Bears was Rob back in it again. If you remember, Bad News Bears Rob up at the top. The answer is always Bloodsport. I agree. The answer is always Bloodsport. Might get the win just because I love that movie so much. And there he is. There he is. We all know he's lurking in the deep part of the ocean. He's swimming around looking for wounded fish. Perhaps a fish that escaped a great white shark. But then here comes Danny the dolphin. He's going to gobble up that fish and then he's going to ram his snout into the gills of the great white shark and kill it. This guy never gamble. Never gamble with Danny Lundy. There he is. He's lurking. Baby, he's lurking. He's tied for 4th.
Though, here's the thing.
He's lurking.
Dan Lundy is such a lovely human being. I might want to tangle with Dan. I might want to gamble because he's just so great. Like, I can't even handle it.
Big difference. Yes, he is great. He's also very connected with the mob, as you can tell by the fact that he wins all of these games. And all I'm saying, Danny, is if you want to win this and a little mob money comes our way, we can make things happen.
I mean, we don't have a way to process that. Like, we don't even have a Venmo for mob money. Or a Zelly.
We can get one. But Danny the Dolphin is 2 points out of first. I've been telling you guys the whole time. I think the Dolphin's going to come back and win this. Real quick, he's got Caddyshack, Hoosiers, Rocky, Karate Kid. That's a strong final four. But he's got Caddyshack winning it all. That's a bold claim. That's a bold claim.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, though.
It's not out of the realm of possibility at all, but it is a bold claim. All right, guys, we've got 8 minutes left. That is, we've updated the leaderboard, we've updated the bracket. So at this point, AK, do we have any?
You're gonna vamp.
I'm vamping. Apparently, I'm vamping.
Tell me that my lipstick looks great today.
Oh my God, A's lipstick looks great today. All right, you guys, Robbie, Robbie Mao, I'm not jinxing you. You are running a perfect bracket. This is rarefied air, my friend. We are now into the second round, and you have yet to lose a single match. We will see how that goes. GSMOAT Legauer wants to see that Rocky versus Creed final. I think a lot of people do, but let's be honest. As good as Creed is, there is no Creed without Rocky. Rocky versus Creed, we all know how that's going to turn out. Oops.
And yes, Shannon, of course, I am wearing pants today. I have been doing a handful of household chores. We're hanging up bookshelves and lights and stuff. So I've been doing that, so I'm wearing pants today. But I promised. What are you laughing
I'm laughing at Richard Allen says, I owe $2 to the swear jar for saying ramming the gills. I didn't know that was a phrase. I didn't know that was a thing that you kids say now to instigate the copulation. But apparently ramming the gills, I owe $2 for ramming the gills.
This is my not quite... Oh, yeah, Kim, I actually have this on my list of questions, so we might as well answer it now. Kim asks, do you say that quith smell like onions? She wants to know if it's raw or cooked.
Oh, gosh, you think you know what you're talking about when you write a book. But let's get a quick main on here. We'll come back to the chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this little tiny buddy.
And generally, she's lost a whole pound in 10 days. And she's
for a dog that weighs 12 pounds to start with, that's a lot.
Yeah, she's had a rough time of it. I think because she's smaller.
Oh, God.
She's had a much rougher time than Reese has. Reese's about twice her size.
Scott Wilson with a very, very facetious well wish. He says, my condolences for your line so far, plus expecting the card stroll in week 3. This, real quick football. We should have won week 1. We fell apart because we're stupid. It's what we do. We're just, to be a Lions fan, you have to be stupid. It's why I invented a friggin' football team to root for, because the football team I have loved my whole life is horrible at all levels. And he says he expects the Cards roll in week 3. We got to watch the Cardinals play last year, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was wonderful.
Got to watch. My nephew was playing for the Cardinals. And the year before that, got to go to Arizona, watch the Cardinals with Dan Baker and Rob Otto. I don't know if Dan was there or not. But anyways, we got to watch the Lions beat the Cardinals, and this week it's going to be real bad. However,
and we got to see the Cardinals with Tyler in them.
That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of game where the Lions should get blasted by a team that's clearly better, and they're already literally out of playoff contention already. They're going to win this game. They're going to win this game, and we're just going to be like pulling out our hair over the last 2 weeks. But that's enough of that. Let's go on.
I have Virginia says she prefers raw onions because cooked smells sweet, which reminds me of an interesting thing. When Scott first wrote Ancestor, the first draft of Ancestor, and he sent it off to the secret agents. One of the secret agents is a pediatric trauma intensivist.
That's right.
So he works in the ER on trauma cases for people less than 12 years old. And he reads and he's completely wonderfully twisted in his mind. His name is Joseph Albeets, and he's lovely. And he writes back when he reads it, he writes just like all the secret agents do. They're lovely. They write back with all the comments. One of his comments, Scott had a line that said, the ancestor opened his jaws and whoever it was, that the character, the human character, smelled like rancid, stringy meat or something. And Joe said, well, here's the thing. That animal, that ancestor is literally 4 days old. He'd have puppy breath. Which is sweet. It doesn't have any plaque. It doesn't have any.
Pretty gross.
It'd be kind of a sweet, happy, sweet smell, which is actually how the baby ancestors are. They have
Oh God, I hope I get to write that sequel.
Yeah, they have a friendly, nuzzly sort of baby smell to their breath in the first few days, which is I think a lovely twist.
Okay. We got all kinds of side conversations going in the chat. I hope you guys can see this chat. Every now and then we like to throw up the chat so you guys can take a look at it. Thank you very much for attending our show. I hope you guys had some ice cream. If you didn't, have some tomorrow. Go register to vote and then have ice cream, and you will be caught up with us. When we are coming back, you guys, this week, next week, oh, hold on. Let's go to the main bracket, partial. Next episode, this coming Thursday, we've got a humdinger for you. We have got Space Jam versus Any Given Sunday, which is looks like a 3-2 matchup, which is going to be real strong, but then the Jim Dandy. If Rocky is going to be upset before the finals, it's going to be right here. It's going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, the Belgians, fixing the match against Rocky, a number 1 seed against a number 5 seed. First of all, Bloodsport's already knocked off the American Miracle. Now they're trying to knock off the Philadelphia Phenom. Let's go with that.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Phenom.
Philadelphia Phenom works.
A guy who beats his meat on TV.
Sir. Let's revisit the raw eggs instead.
We're going to have meat beating on Thursday, you guys. A lot of meat beating. A lot of Michael Jordan playing with kids' toys. Is Michael Jackson in that movie? I don't know. And then we're going to, of course, Any Given Sunday. You can't make fun of Any Given Sunday because it's got drug abuse and prostitution and game fixing. It's just like that's all baked in. So you can't really make a joke. And then we've got Bloodsport, perhaps the greatest fighting movie of all time. Richard Allen, that was not. Did I swear? Damn it. So I want you guys all to come back on Thursday for that. In the meantime, my gorgeous wife and I are going to go hang out and chill because I didn't have to do a whole lot today. I got to-dos done.
I mean, you did a whole lot today because today we told you last Thursday that Scott finished the Stone Wolves, and today we sent it off to all the folks who do the initial edit and beta read and stuff. So
yep.
Stone Wolves is done.
A gets to start reading it tomorrow.
Yeah, Stone Wolves is done. We're moving on to recording GFL6.
Yes, Jennifer Sherwood.
Soon.
Yes, Rocky Balboa beats his meat on TV.
He mostly just drinks raw eggs. He doesn't.
Have you not watched the movie? He not only beats his meat, he gets a big fist going with it.
None of this is true. This is what happens. This is what happens when Scott. This is what happens when Scott drinks Mai Tais. He's cut off from now on. Dan Baker, if we ever get to go out to tiki bars again, he can't have Mai Tais.
Dan Baker can make a tiki drink. I'll tell you that. All right, guys. If you have questions, you have ideas for the show, A's already brought this up, please email us, info@emptyset, content ideas for Sigler in Place, questions. We've got 50 back up. We're going to have a whole couple of big question episodes, so go ahead and hit us on that.
We will be back on Thursday, September 24th. There is not a thing we wanted to celebrate other than the fact that it is Jim Henson's birthday. So if you've ever loved a Muppet, if you've ever loved a puppet, celebrate that, watch a thing, at least do a Kermit flail.
If you've ever loved a puppet, if you've ever had a soft spot in your heart for a puppet, you're going to want to watch the show Thursday.
But until then, we want you to stay safe.
We want you to stay smart.
We need you to stay science, bitches.
And for the love of science, and Jim Henson and Kermit, we want you to stay informed. Stay informed. Oh, I'm sorry.
And until then.
Until then, hold on. I got to cue it up.
We're going to kiss this dog.
We're going to kiss this dog. You can all just kiss off. And
I love you guys.
Let me go off like a blister in the sun.